this era of like, oh, I've already gone through training, or I've already worked with people, or I've been working with people for 5 years or 10 years. So why would someone who's like very experienced even want to take this?
You know, the thing that I think about all the time is a line from John Perry Barlow, who wrote some of the lyrics for the Grateful Dead, just a few. John Perry Barlow was also really interesting because he was like Electronic Frontier Foundation. He was really trying to protect freedom of speech on the internet. He died a couple years ago, but really a legend. But there's a line in one of his songs I think about every day. You ain't gonna learn what you don't want to know. If you don't think you need it, you're never gonna learn it. And the thing is, that's fine. But we all have to watch our minds because there's plenty of stuff that we're just like, oh, that's not mine, that's not mine. But every now and again, it's actually interesting and important to check in. Is that not mine, or am I just not interested in it, or do I think it's not for me? But my point is that for the people who say that, who say, I don't really need to learn this, that's totally fine. I absolutely respect it. I just want to make sure it's real. Because if you have a relationship with mushrooms, so much so that you trust mushrooms to tell you everything, why couldn't you also have that relationship with broccoli? Why couldn't you also have that relationship with the breath you breathe, with the grass, with the trees that are pollinating your whole neighborhood, right? Like it's just, yeah, if you have that recipe, if you're that good, we want you because we want that attention to be able to listen to all the plants. There's a certain sort of, I don't want to, this would be very delicate to say to someone, but there's a certain arrogance.
Yeah.
There's a certain sort of focus that you get with arrogance, which is nice, because you're like really clear, like that's not mine, that's not mine, that's not mine. But we always have to check that and make sure, like, oh yeah, really? Are you sure? Like, because what we're doing is we're narrowing and narrowing what our identity is. And when we're working with mushrooms, they're the great collapsers of the narratives we have around identity.
Mm.
They're always boundary dissolving. So when we're saying very firmly, like, I have these strong boundaries, I don't need these other things, are we really listening to the mushrooms that are boundary dissolving? Right? Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, because someone who can really trust the mushrooms, I have a lot of respect for. I think they might be right on. And I also want to make sure they are. Like, I want to poke it, I want to test it. That's my view. But I have a lot of people I trust who are like that. You need teachers. We all need teachers. And it doesn't mean that I have to be their teacher or anybody has to be their teacher, but we all need teachers. Otherwise, um, we're in great danger. We're in great danger.